Next rule, we'll go to next problem. So if I study, then I do not fail in the examination. Second statement, if I do not fail in the examination, my father gives a two-wheeler to me. Finally, the conclusion is, if I study, then my father gives a two-wheeler to me. So we have if I study, so that's one. See here, I do not fail in examination, though do not is there, still it is a Q and not negation Q. You can write negation Q, that will not alter any result. Here it is given as Q because there is no I fail in examination. That statement is not there. So if it was there, I fail in examination, then I do not fail in examination, negation Q should be given. Okay, so here it is a Q because I do not fail in examination. Second also, I do not fail in the examination. So if you keep Q or negation Q, it does not matter much. So if you get confused, we'll keep it as negation Q itself. Okay, so not a problem. We'll just keep it as negation Q. Okay, so my father gives a two-wheeler to me. So let's write the symbolic form. If I study, then I do not fail in examination. So if I do not fail in examination, then my father gives a two-wheeler to me. R. Next, therefore, if I study, that is P, then my father gives a two-wheeler to me. Here it is R. Okay. So observe what kind of we can apply P conditional, negation Q, and negation Q conditional R, P conditional R. So how it will work? Observe rule of syllogism. P conditional Q and Q conditional R means it is P conditional R. Observe a rule of syllogism. So here P conditional negation Q and P conditional negation Q and negation Q conditional R according to rule of syllogism. Rule of syllogism, that is P conditional R. So it's not rule of Modus Pon's rule. So it's a rule of syllogism. According to a rule of syllogism. It's an example for rule of syllogism. It's not Modus Pon's. Next problem, sixth one. If Ravi goes out with friends, he will not study. So Ravi does not study, his father becomes angry. His father is not angry, so Ravi has not gone out with friends. So observe here again. So let's write what is P. Ravi goes out with friends. First one, Ravi goes out with friends. He will not study. Here also Ravi does not study. So the other one is not Ravi studies, that is not there. That's why they have directly we have taken it as Q. So if you get confused, make it as negation Q, does not alter anything. Okay. So Ravi does not study, negation Q. His father, if Ravi does not study, then his father becomes angry. His father becomes angry. So that will be another one. Next, his father is not angry. So his father becomes angry. His father is not angry. So you have R and negation R together. So next one, Ravi has not gone out with friends. That is goes out with friends, not goes out with friends. Negation P is also there. So you have negation P, negation Q, R, negation R. These many propositions are there. We'll write the compound statement if Ravi goes out with the friends. Okay, so then he will not study. So if he do not study, if he does not study, then his father becomes angry. Or so his father is not angry. Negation R. So what is the conclusion we have here? So Ravi has not gone out with his friends. Negation P we have. This will be the conclusion. Okay, so whether this is a valid argument, we have to check this one. Okay, so this one we have to return P conditional Q and Q conditional R and negation R. So whether this is, it infers negation P, so we will apply rules of inference and see whether this is a valid argument or not. Now observe here, so we can have P conditional negation Q. We are here, it is Q. We have taken negation Q for our, if you are for some who get confused, negation Q conditional R. Okay, so negation R. What happens here? So we can apply rule of syllogism. This becomes P conditional R. By rule of syllogism, you have to write always what kind of rule, step by step, what kind of rule you have applied. It's mandatory for your marks. Okay, so negation R remains. Okay, so observe here P conditional R and negational R, whether this is negation P. So is this a valid argument? If it is, then according to which rule? So remember what is the modus tollens rule? So modus tollens rule is P conditional Q and negation Q is negation P. So this is a modus tollens rule. So here what is P conditional R and negation R is a negation P. So according to modus tollens rule, this argument is valid. So next problem, if I study, I will not fail in examination. So if I do not watch TV in the evening, I will study. I failed in the examination, so I must have watched TV in the evenings. So next let's see, I study becomes P. I will not fail in examination. Here observe, I failed in examination is also there. So I fail in examination is Q. I will not fail in examination is negation Q. So if I do not watch TV, so here I must have watched TV in the evening. So I have watched TV in the evenings is R. So how many propositions are there? I will study, I will fail in examination, I will not fail in examination, and I do not watch TV in the evenings, I must have watched TV in the evenings. It's negations. Okay, so you have P, Q, R and negation Q and negation R. These are the propositions we have. Let's write it in a formal way, symbolic way. So if I study, okay, so then I will not fail in the examination, negation Q. If I do not watch TV in the evenings, that is negation R, then I will study, that is P. Next, I failed in the examination. So I failed in the examination becomes Q. So what is the conclusion? I must have watched TV in the evenings. So what is I watched TV in the evenings? R. So this is the propositions we have. So we should be applying some. So how it works? Let's see. P. So let's take these two for simplification. P conditional Q, the P conditional negation Q and P conditional negation Q and negation R and conditional P. Conditional P it is. Conditional P. So can we apply any of the rule here? P conditional, negation Q, and negation R, conditional P. So it seems no. So let's see what can we do, whether can we change something according to laws of logic, or so that it suits our simplification. We should observe here a proposition, a conditional and its contrapositive are logically equivalent. Okay, and its contrapositive are logically equivalent. So what is a contrapositive? So suppose we have P conditional Q, then negation Q conditional, negation P is contrapositive. If you have P conditional Q, then negation Q conditional, negation P is contrapositive, and these two are logically equivalent. Okay, these two are logically equivalent. Okay, so with this one we will see what can we do here. So let's take the contrapositive of both of them. Q becomes negation Q becomes Q. Negation, right? Negation of negation Q. Okay, so contrapositive we are writing, and here it is negation P. So what it becomes? Q conditional P. First one we are writing. So Q conditional P. So Q conditional negation P. Okay. So first one becomes P conditional negation Q becomes Q conditional negation P. Second one, what will happen? Negation of negation R conditional negation negation P conditional negation of R. So negation P conditional R. So let's write, taking contrapositive of both Q conditional negation P and negation P conditional R. Q conditional negation P and negation P conditional. So what it gives, according to rule of syllogism, this gives Q conditional R. P conditional Q and Q conditional R is P conditional R. That is the rule of syllogism. According to rule of syllogism, so it gives us Q conditional R. So first two we have simplified. So finally what do we have? We have Q conditional R and Q. So therefore R. So whether this is a valid argument. So remember what is modus ponens rule. So modus ponens rule tells P conditional Q and P is Q. This is modus ponens rule. So what is a Q conditional R and Q, okay, is R. So according to modus ponens rule, this argument is valid. So next question, just the validity of the argument. Instead of having verbal sentences like this, we are directly having the symbols now, and we have to apply different laws. We have to use laws of logic as well as rules of inference. So we should know both here. Okay, so P conditional R and Q conditional R is a P or Q conditional R. So whether this is a valid argument. So we have to keep in mind that if P is logically equivalent to Q, that also means P infers Q. Okay, so if you prove that P is logically equivalent to Q, so that's a valid argument. Okay, so we can conclude that it is a valid argument. So P conditional R and Q conditional R, we cannot take a contrapositive. So if we take R, it becomes R, and here negation R, so it does not work. So what do we do is we can write P conditional R and Q conditional R we have here. Okay, so P conditional R you can write as negation P or R. So we have known this result, negation Q or R. Okay, so P conditional R is logically equivalent to negation P or R. Q conditional R is logically equivalent to negation Q or R. So with this, what can we do? So we'll observe here. So we'll see. Just like in arithmetic we can use distributive law, in the similar way we can use distributive law. To make it more clear, we'll first apply commutative law. Okay, so how will we apply? So just interchange the positions or negation P and R or negation Q. So we just interchange the positions here using commutative law. So you have to always tell what kind of law you are using. So it's important you have marks for that. Okay, so take R common, R or negation P and negation Q. So using distributive law, so we have arrived at this. These are logically equivalent, not rules of inference, they are logically equivalent. So R or negation P and negation Q. So use De Morgan's law. Remember De Morgan's law. Use De Morgan's law and write this negation P or Q. Here use De Morgan's law here, and so I advise again students to know all laws of logic and rules of inference. Okay, so you will not follow otherwise. So we have arrived here. So we'll just using commutative law reciprocate their positions Q or R, negation P, negation P or Q and or R. So what is become? So remember, P conditional Q is logically equivalent to negation P or Q. Remember this one. So similarly apply this here. Have negation P or Q, P or Q conditional R. So we have arrived here. So this is and this conclusion are logically equivalent. If they are logically equivalent, then they are a valid argument. Okay. So next question. So we are having P conditional Q and R conditional S, and P or R infers Q or S that we have to prove. Let's take first P conditional Q and R conditional S and P or R. Okay, so how can we write this one? We will rewrite P conditional Q, and so we'll just exchange this for clarity purpose. It's valid according to commutative law. So P or R, if P or R, we can write like this: P or R, negation of P or R. Okay, law of double negation. So that makes it negation P condition R. Okay, so these are logically equivalent. We are using the old result here. So what happens here? So P conditional Q and negation P conditional R and R conditional S. So here we can apply rule of syllogism, P conditional Q and negation P conditional S. Rule of syllogism. P conditional Q and negation P conditional S. Rule of syllogism. So what can we do next? Okay. So observe here, if we can take the contrapositive of this one. Okay, observe here, we can use the take the contrapositive of this one. Take the contrapositive. So we have taken the contrapositive. So this negation Q conditional negation P and negation P conditional S, using a rule of syllogism, we can just say negation Q conditional yes, negation Q conditional S. So we have arrived at this term. How can we write next? So negation Q conditional S is logically equivalent to negation of negation Q or S. So P conditional Q is logically equal to negation P or Q. Okay, similarly, okay, negation Q or S. So law of double negation. Okay, so by Q or S. This is what you get, logically equivalent. As they are logically equivalent, this is a valid argument. So next problem. So we have P conditional Q and R conditional S and negation Q or negation S. So let's see how we can convert this. Take these two. So we'll consider these two, P conditional Q and R conditional S. And so how can we write this one? Okay, so Q conditional negation S. Okay, so how does this work? Okay, so P conditional Q is negation P or Q. So negation Q becomes Q, negation S remains like that. Okay, so next after arriving at this, okay, so next we can see, if we take the contrapositive, we can apply rule of syllogism here. Okay, if we apply take the contrapositive, we can apply rule of syllogism here. So how will we write this one? P conditional Q and R conditional S, and so we have negation we have here Q conditional negation S, right? Take the contrapositive, P conditional Q and R conditional S and S conditional negation Q. You will have like that, S conditional negation Q. So P conditional Q and apply rule of syllogism, R conditional negation Q. Okay. Later, what can we do here? If we take the contrapositive, again we can take the contrapositive for R conditional negation Q, P conditional Q and Q conditional negation R, by taking contrapositive for this, by taking contrapositive here. So we'll just, how we took the contrapositive, if someone has not understood, we'll R conditional negation Q. If you are taking the contrapositive, how it like negation of negation Q conditional negation R. This is how you take the contrapositive. Okay. So negation of negation Q is Q conditional negation R. Take the contrapositive here. Apply rule of syllogism again, P conditional negation R. So after that, so we can write by equivalence negation P or negation R by the result we have applied. Later apply De Morgan law, negation P and R. So this is what we are supposed to prove. So as they are logically equivalent, the statement is valid. So next question. So we have negation P or Q conditional R, negation R conditional S or T. So then these two. So if you observe these first, this directly applies rules of syllogism. So second part we will see and then combine. Okay, so the first negation P or Q conditional R and R conditional S or T. Straight away this by rule of syllogism, P or Q conditional S or T, negation P or Q conditional S or T. So this is straightforward rule of syllogism. The second one we will see, I have just broken down so that it's easy. S and negation U and negation U conditional negation T. So can we convert this into something else? Means can we apply distributed law? No, because here and. So negation S and negation U and negation U conditional negation T. How this will work? So apply associative law. Remove the brackets. It will become very clear. U negation T. So this is how it is. So instead of these two brackets, we will put brackets here. Associative law. Okay, and that's why you can do like that. So negation yes and. So what will you have here? So what do you have here? Negation U conditional negation T and negation U. What it will become? Can we apply any of the rule? So what does modus ponens say? Okay, P conditional Q and P, okay, so is Q. Negation Q conditional negation T and negation U is negation T. So this is according to modus ponens rule. Okay, so according to modus ponens, what does this becomes? This becomes negation T. Okay, so inference S and negation T. We infer S and negation T. Modus ponens rule. So what did we arrive at now? We are now, so these two we separately did. So negation P or Q conditional S or T and negation S and negation T. Okay, so this is what we arrived at. So what can we do? We can apply De Morgan's law for this. So well, let's do it. P or Q S or T and negation S or T. So you have now De Morgan's law and you have like this. So how does it look like? Okay, how does it look like? Observe what does modus tollens rule say. P conditional Q, okay, and negation Q is negation P. So can we draw an analogy? P conditional Q and negation Q. So we can write like this. So what does this become? This infers negation P. So if we apply the analogy, so what do we get? Negation of negation P or Q. Okay, negation of negation P or Q. So what do we get then? P and negation Q. Use De Morgan law. So if P is true and negation Q is true, that infers that P is true. Okay, so rule of disjunctive simplification. Sorry, rule of conjunctive simplification. Rule of conjunctive simplification we use here. So according to that, if P and Q is true, then P is true. Here P and negation Q is true, then P is true. Okay, so both are same. Rule of conjunctive simplification. Okay, so P is true and negation Q is true, then P should be true, right? So we assume that the premises is always true. So we have proved that this argument is valid. Next question, P conditional R conditional S, T or negation S, and negation T or U. So we can apply rule of syllogism here. Okay, so we can convert them these two into conditionals and apply rule of syllogism, and let's see what can we do, what else can we do. So P conditional R and R conditional S, what will this become? So P conditional S, this is done. Okay, so P conditional S, and what else can we do? Now we have P conditional S is there. Next T or negation S and negation T or U. Okay, these two we are taking. Now we can write like this, negation T conditional we can write like this, so just use commutative law, S or T and T or U. So here you can write S conditional T and T conditional U. Okay, so apply rule of syllogism, S conditional U you have. Okay, so this is for these two. So what results we have now? So we have applied rule of syllogism to P conditional R conditional S becomes P conditional S. Apart from that, so what do we have? S conditional U using these two and negation U. That's what we have now. Okay, so again we can apply rule of syllogism, P conditional U and negation U. Later, so observe which rule of inference we can apply. So let's see modus tollens rule. So P conditional Q and negation Q is negation P. This is modus tollens rule. Let's will it work here? Yes, P conditional U and negation U will be this inference we have to write. So we have to take care when we apply logical equivalence, we write this one. When inference, rule of inference, we write like this one. Okay, so we get now negation P. So using modus tollens rule. Modus tollens rule. So this is a valid argument, right? The conclusion that this is a valid argument.